Hi, COMA 103 class. My name is Anna Lajeski. I'm actually a graduate from the baking and pastry program in the culinary program at Schoolcraft. So my how-to video is going to be on how to make boxed chocolate chip muffins. So the first thing that I like to tell people when baking or cooking is that you want to make sure that your organization is a priority and your sanitation is a priority and any safety issues. And also you want to make sure that you have all your mise en place ready to go before you start baking or cooking. So that means having everything pre-measured out and having all your equipment ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Lysol 99.9 kills germs 99.9%. I'm just going to spray the area that I'm going to be working with so that everything's all sanitized and clean. I know at Schoolcraft we always have sandy buckets at our station with sanitizing tablets in them. Okay, so now I'm going to throw this away. And the next step that I'm going to take is I'm going to thoroughly wash my hands. So you can see the sink over here, so you'll be able to see me when I do this process. Best thing that I suggest to people is you can never take too much time to wash your hands. So I always tell my niece when she's washing her hands to sing ABC or Old MacDonald. I'm just gonna count to between 45 seconds to a minute in my head. But the best thing that you need to do is make sure that you get in between your fingers, get your palms, and get all the areas that sometimes people just miss on accident, and get your forearms as well up here. So you're gonna want to turn on the hot water. You want it to be hot enough that it's going to kill germs, but also not burn your hands. Okay, so wet your hands first. And then I have a antibacterial soap. I'm gonna get my palms right here, get in between my fingers. And as I said, I'm also counting in my head right now to make sure that I'm doing it to an accurate amount of time. I'm just gonna go back and forth like this on my forearms. And on this forearm as well. I'm actually also just kind of washing my wash as well, so it's waterproof. Make sure that there's no germs on that when I'm cooking as well. Okay, you get your forearms again, in between your fingers. Then you want to rinse it under your hot water. Before I turn off the water, I'm going to get my paper towel. I'm going to dry my hands. And I'm actually going to turn off the faucet with the paper towel. And I'm going to use the paper towel to lift the trash can and open it so that I don't dirty my hands after just washing them. Okay, so let's read the recipe and see what we need. I already have everything mixed out, but I'm going to show you how you would go about that process. So, making muffins. You will need 3/4 of a cup of water, which I have right here. And it's measured to, it has the 3/4 line. And then you're also going to need 1/2 cup of oil. That's also measured out. And then you're going to need 2 eggs. So I have 2 eggs right here. I have not cracked them yet. I'm going to right now. So you want to make sure that whenever you're cracking eggs that you crack it on a hard flat surface so that you can get a straight edge. And I'm just going to toss mine in my sink. That was 1 and there's 2. Okay, so now we're all set and ready to go. I don't want to tilt it. There you go, you can see them, cracked eggs. Okay, so now you also have your batter. You're going to need a pair of scissors to open your batter with. And then you're going to need at least 1 spatula. And I also have my KitchenAid. That's what I'm going to be mixing the batter with. So now at this point, the other things that you're going to need are a cupcake pan. It's a 12 muffin cupcake pan. And you're going to need also cupcake liners and or ham spray. If you don't want to do the liners, that's completely fine. You just want to make sure that you put some sort of oil down so that the cupcakes can spring out of the pan and not stick. So in this case, I am going to use the cupcake liners. So I'm gonna put my cupcake liners in so that when the batter's done, I can portion them out right away. Okay, so the last thing that you need is actually a portion scoop. So I just like to use ice cream scoops. So this is an ice cream scoop right here, and I fill it to about 3/4 of the way, and then I'm able to just drop it in when I'm with my batter. That way they're all equal and they have a very uniform look and shape. Last but not least, I always like to have a paper towel or a bowl to put any sort of like a dirty spatula, or for instance the dirty scoop as well, so that I'm avoiding getting any sort of mess on my workspace. It makes cleaning up a lot easier. So first thing that you're going to do is you're going to cut this bag open. I'm going to turn it towards the KitchenAid so that you guys can see a little bit better. So I'm going to pour the dry mix in. Okay, and then I'm going to put it down, I'm going to lock it, and I'm going to put it on stir. So the point of this is to make sure that even the dry mix can get out as many lumps as possible. And you want it to be as smooth and you want it to be as uniform as possible. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven. So for me, I press bake. It says 425 on the box. So you're going to press 425 and press start. And it will beep. It's preheating right now, and it'll beep when it's all ready to go and it's heated up. We don't want to put in the muffins until it's completely heated up. So my oven's already now at 330 because I had it on earlier. Okay, so now this is plenty good. So we're going to unlock it and turn it off. So we're going to lift it up. And I actually like to honestly scrape down the bowl every time that I lift it up, just to make sure that everything's getting evenly combined. So then I'm going to put it down, lock it again, and I'm going to put it on stir. And I'm going to do one egg at a time. So I do one egg, and then I wait. Turn up the speed a little bit. You want to make sure that it's uniform before adding the other egg. Okay, so now I'm going to add my second egg. And I'm going to put my dirty dish in the sink. Okay, and then you want to let that go and mix until it's thoroughly combined. So right now, I'm going to be all set. I'm going to lift this up, and you can see the batter on the paddle right here. You're going to scrape it down because there's still some powder on the bottom. So you want to make sure that that gets evenly combined as well. So next, I'm going to add my water. And I'm going to add my oil as well. Because they're both liquids, there should usually never be a problem with adding both liquids at the same time. You just want to start it off on a stir or a low speed so that it doesn't splash anywhere. So I like to lock it. It's on stir. See, it splashed a little bit, so you just want to be careful. And I'll put these dirty dishes in the sink as well. So now at this point, because it's a little bit more combined and it's not just pure liquid, you can increase the speed and that'll make it go a little bit faster. Okay, so now that my batter is thoroughly combined, I'm going to unlock it. And I'm going to do just what I did before I put the eggs in. I'm going to scrape down the bowl just to make sure that any powder that was stuck at the bottom is combined with the rest of the batter. And I'm going to let it mix for just another probably 30 seconds. Okay, so now we're all set. So I'm going to lift it I'm going to take this off first. What I like to do is make sure that I get all of the batter off of the paddle as possible so that there's no wasted product. You can use the side of the bowl, and you can also use the spatula for this. Okay, and then I'm going to put my dirty paddle in the sink. Okay, so now we're going to transition over here to the cupcake pan. Let's make sure that you guys can see it in some capacity. Okay, so I am going to now portion my batter into my cupcakes. I'm just stirring it one more time just to make sure that it's thoroughly combined, just doing that by hand, and it looks great. Oh, and you probably just heard my timer go off, so the oven's all ready to go, so it's perfect timing. So I've got my batter right here. Oh, there we go. So I am going to fill up my scoop about 3/4 of the way, and I'm going to portion each cupcake, and then whatever batter I have left, I will try to evenly put throughout the cupcakes that maybe didn't get filled enough. And you want to try to scrape the side of it as you're going if there's any sort of excess dripping, because you don't want it to get in the pan and to burn. I didn't really show you guys this. I should have done it. But usually what the better form is that you always want to start from the far side and then come in, and that helps prevent the dripping as much as possible. Okay, so now I've got just enough batter left for one muffin. So I am scraping down the bowl to get all that batter in, and I'm just going to pour it right into the bowl. Oh, I'm sorry, right into the liner. And then now at this point I do have a little bit of excess, so I'm going to pour it into my scoop, which is on top of a napkin right now, so it's not going to get everywhere even if I spill a little bit. So if you look at my bowl, there's really not much left in there. My chef would always tell all his students that when you're making a product, you want to make sure that you scrape down your bowl 110% as much as possible, because that way you shouldn't even know what was in the bowl originally, and that way you know that you didn't have much waste. So now I've got about a half a cup in here, so I'm just going to go around to the ones that maybe didn't get filled as much, and I'm going to even them out. Okay, so now I'm done with all my dirty dishes, so I'm going to put these in the sink. Okay, so now we're ready to put them in the oven, and my oven is preheated, so I'm going to open my oven and put them in. Okay, so now I'm going to set a timer. I'm just on my watch for 15 minutes. Set a timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes and counting.
Okay, all set, so that way if I go away at a different part of the house and do something, I'll still have my timer and come back and know when they're ready. So the last thing that I want to say, I will show this process. So now at this point, my timer has just gone off for 15 minutes, and I'm going to take my hot pad and I'm going to check on the muffins and make sure that they're done, and then I will pull them out to cool. So they look great. I'm gonna pull them out. Yep, and now what I do is I like to just touch them and see if they get a little bit of a spring back, and they do have that. So they are all set. So I'm going to pull them out, and they're right here. So now your chocolate muffins are all done. I'm going to close my oven and I'll turn it off. And you can if you don't mind there being a little bit of a grease on the bottom of the muffin, you can keep them in the pan. Typically what I like to do, and I'll show this, I will take my hot pan and I will flip them over like this, and I will then put them just on a cutting board like so to let them cool. And this avoids there being a dark grease spot on the bottom. Okay, so I'll put this in the sink now. So now we are all done. We have our chocolate chip muffins, and you want to let them cool for probably about 15 to 20 minutes before people eat them. But they're all set and they're ready to be eaten. So I hope you guys enjoyed the how-to speech, and I hope you guys all have a great weekend.